In Azerbaijan's Fuzuli region near Armenian-occupied Nagorno-Karabakh, deminers arrive to work. They're part of a project that goes beyond mine clearance, explains Reinhard Helmke, Executive Director of the UN Office for Project Services, UNOPS.
It also involves building up of a national capacity in the country. And in the case of Azerbaijan, we are working with the National Agency for Mine Action, whose capacity indeed is being built up as we progress through the various stages of this program. So that, when time comes, they are ready and able to carry on the work.
UNOPS, along with the UN Development Programme, Japan, Norway, Switzerland, the United States and Canada, together with international non-governmental organisations, are assisting Azerbaijan to plan, manage and coordinate mine action activities. As well as surveying and marking minefields, the project provides training, equipment and help to protect civilians through mine awareness and victim assistance programmes. For Team Commander Feruz Momodov, the goal is a simple one.
I want Azerbaijan to be free of landmines and unexploded bombs so that the next generation will not have to suffer.
On this day, the presence of animals on the minefield does not allow the deminers to perform their vital work. They've no alternative but to return to base. Technical team leader Stuart Senior from the British NGO Mine Advisory Group knows this area very well.
So you've got a minefield, complete minefield, which has got Armenian mines in it, as well as Azeri Lake mines, which have not been recorded in any detail or way. So that's the problem we're facing at the moment.
Much information about explosives comes from locals. This boy tells Stuart that he's seen dangerous materials nearby. Indeed, upon arrival, Stuart discovers 2 Russian-made live mortar shells. The decision is made to blow them up. Sandbags will make sure the road is not damaged by the explosion.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Firing now.
The presence of these missiles is a clear sign that the ceasefire between Azerbaijan and Armenia is a fragile one. 20% of Azeri territory remains occupied by Armenia. The animals have moved on and the deminers are able to work. The terrible legacy of landmines and unexploded ordnance left by the war will tragically be around for many years.
In Bissau, Guinea-Bissau's capital city, signs of war are visible everywhere. But in many parts of this small West African nation, a far more deadly legacy of the country's recent upheavals is still in place. 20,000 landmines left over from a history of conflicts are spread throughout the countryside and even in densely populated areas like this Bissau neighborhood. Ridding Guinea-Bissau of landmines is an important part of the work of UNOGBIS, the UN Peacebuilding Office in Guinea-Bissau. Supported by UNOGBIS, UN agencies, European countries and the United States, a non-governmental organization called HUMAID has been clearing landmines and other ordnance since 1999. John Blacken is HUMAID's coordinator.
We have taken out over 500 unexploded ordnance from around the city and over 1,600 mines.
Guinea-Bissau's continuing insurgencies have also left a huge number of light weapons circulating among the country's population. These arms, combined with rampant poverty, have helped to create an explosive situation. There's a strong link between the availability of weapons and the serious social problems afflicting Guinea-Bissau, says Juan Honwana from the UN's Department for Disarmament Affairs.
People are involved in criminal activities, in insurgencies, in robberies, all of that involving weapons, involving extreme use of violence. And therefore, that's the kind of relationship I could see between the sliding of the country towards increased levels of poverty and the massive presence of weapons, certainly.
Although removing deadly weapons from general circulation is vital for lowering the country's level of violence, Guinea-Bissau's military also needs to be seriously overhauled. Lieutenant Colonel Michel Saleh, UNOGBAS's military advisor, visits Major General Verissimo Seabra, Chief of Staff of the country's armed forces. They discuss the urgent need for reforming the army in order to stabilize the whole country.
Le monde militaire essaie de comprendre.
The military is trying to understand what democracy is all about. What should be the role of the armed forces in a democracy? And that power must go back to civilians.
Rebuilding societies torn apart by war is a long and complex process. For it to work well, an effective system of disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration must operate. The effects of violent conflict in Guinea-Bissau are likely to remain for some time, as its long-suffering population make their way toward a better, more peaceful future.
Mirganov, Algafor's tragic story, is a sad reminder of the havoc caused by landmines in the lives of people. This is the spot where my youngest son found the object, says 59-year-old Mirganov. The child brought the object home. It was already too late when he realized that it was a landmine. An explosion ensued, and Mirganov lost both hands. Having worked as an accountant all his life, Mirganov can no longer earn a living. How can an accountant work without his hands, he asks. Most landmines in Tajikistan were laid during the country's 5-year civil war that ended in 1997. Thousands can also be found in the country's border with Uzbekistan and Afghanistan. Only 7% of Tajikistan's territory is non-mountainous, and just over 5% is arable land. Explosive remnants of war and landmines continue to kill and maim hundreds of Tajik citizens. Schoolteacher Dilchod Ibranov, like his 4 siblings, helped care for his parents' vegetable garden and their sheep. One day, he stepped on a landmine near his home. He lost a leg and his future.
My wish was to join military school, to become an army officer, but the accident took my dreams away.
Landmines are cheap to produce. Each costs between $2 to $5 US, but to remove them from the ground costs at least $1,000. One of the most heavily mined regions of the country is Vanj, near the Afghan border. Supported by the government of Tajikistan, the UN Development Program, and other international organizations, the Tajikistan Mine Action Program is in charge of ridding the country of landmines. Since 2003, Tajikistan's Mine Action Program has cleared large swathes of land, installed thousands of warning signs in high-risk areas, and destroyed huge amounts of landmines and unexploded ordnance. Around these fields in a period of 12 months, well over 2,000 landmines have been found, removed, and destroyed. Economic hardship and physical pain are not the only effects of landmines on its victims. Rustan Murtajev was 18 when he stepped on a landmine. His mental health has deteriorated ever since.
When I was in hospital, while I slept, I kept hearing the explosion over and over in my head.
From being an outgoing, happy-go-lucky young man, Rustan changed into a totally different person. He has become an introvert, abandoned his school friends, and never goes out, says his father, Maksud.
Before the accident, my son was a nice, joyful young man. He had a very positive attitude to life. After the accident, he became aggressive, and now always quarrels with his mother and siblings.
But if resources can be made available, Tajikistan will be able to rid itself of its deadly legacy. William Lawrence, Chief Technical Advisor of Tajikistan's Mine Action Program, firmly believes that the country is making big strides, and with continuous support, landmines will become a thing of the past.
Landmines problem in Tajikistan is a significant problem, but it's not insoluble. This is not Afghanistan, it's not Angola, and it's not Cambodia. We know what our problem is, and it is solvable. If we have the tools, we can fix the problem.